Okay, I am live. I need to put my model up and get the game running. Whoops, whoopsie doopsies. I wait. Oh sh. Oh god, please tell me that didn't. Uh oh, I gotta fix my shit because I hit update on OBS and now I just undid all of the shit I did. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Join my Pokemon. Okay. Oh, I gotta update all my tags and shit. Oh god, I can't fucking spell platinum. I can't fucking spell. God damn it, Pokemon. Oh god, let me spell plat. There we go. Oh my god. There we go. It should be fixed. There's Scuff. This is just a Tuesday for Bacilli enjoyers. It's just me having Scuff. Because it wouldn't be a Bacilli stream if there weren't Scuff. I try not to have Scuff. I try. I truly do. Believe me, I do. It just does not work ever. Just does not work ever. Gotta go post this on Twitter. Okay, wait, am I on the right Twitter? Yeah, okay. And then I just gotta post my live now information. Not information, but like my shit. Live now. Oh god. Oh, why is it caps lock? Oh my god. I can't spell. Continuing our journey through the Sin region in Pokemon Platinum. Yeah, I that's it. God, this is. I swear, I am not a train wreck. I'm just, my meds have worn off at this point in the day, okay? Let's see. Garatina. Okay, where the fuck's my little guy? There he is. There we go. Alright. Oh my god. I gotta get my model. Oh, I gotta get my model. Alright. PNG Tuber Plus, are you gonna behave? Please. For the love of God. Yeah? Okay, are we gonna behave? Are we gonna behave? Or are you gonna let me... Come on. Don't crash on me for the love of God. Pretty please. Okay. Are we working? Okay. Yeah, we're working. Alright, let's go. Alright, we got the model. Oh my god. If my meds worked 24 hours a day, I would probably be a better, not better streamer, because I still could have a lot of things I can work on to be better at when it comes to streaming, like, in general, but, like, better as in more, not productive. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, I mean, I guess productive works is the word. Not the word I'm looking for. Hello, people. Sorry about the scuff at the beginning. So, all right, let's go. Okay, is my model gonna load? Is me? It. Oh, wait. Oh, right. I. I forgot that last stream I did of Pokemon Platinum. My model broke halfway through my nice because I use PNG Tuber Plus, and for whatever reason, aside from the fact that it won't let me use my mic, like my good mic that I have right here. Obviously, you can hear it because I'm talking right into your ears. But my good mic, for some reason, it won't let me use that for tracking, so I either have to use my headphones or microphone array, and I have Bluetooth headphones that I use, and whenever they run out of battery, I have to plug them, and then I have to go try and change it from the Bluetooth headphones for my tracking to my... Oh, hello, buddy. One of my cats is yelling. Hi, bud, come here. Here, boy. Hi, buddy. Oh. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Oh, my God. I can never be a face cam streamer just because A, I am ugly, but also B, I do not want anything I say online to follow me into the real world. But if I, but the only downside is that I cannot just pick up my cat and show him to you. Ow, shit. Okay, no more petting you. Thank you, Alpine, for the follow. Welcome. But so a lot of the times, okay, my model will just casually break if I ever have to change a single thing about it. It will throw a hissy fit aneurysm, and it does not like whenever I have to do it. So for whatever reason, oh God, come on, no, Melon DS, just cooperate with me on this one, please. So that's why, oh my God, Melon DS, come on, my emulator is not cooperating. Let me fix this. I'm surprised I haven't had any scuff with audio settings. Oh my God, my shit's not working. Oh, okay, it's working now. We're winning. All right. So last time we beat, what's her name? Oh my God, Fantina within the first 30 minutes of stream, and then we proceeded to continue about our merry way to Selacion. And also I got sidetracked, and at some point we talked about Scooby-Doo. That's what I remember from last stream. We already did the ruins. I don't know how to get that Pokeball, and I'm afraid to look it up because if I do, my laptop might throw a hissy fit at me. Not laptop, my emulator might throw a hissy fit at me. Here's the team. Ignore HM Mule. He's here for HM purposes. Got Methane, the Haunter. She is the newest of the team. Well, technically second newest. I keep forgetting my Volps. If you notice the theme with this name, science. The only reason that... What the fuck are you doing? Sorry, my cat is... 1 second. Why can't you be like your brother? Dude, what are you doing? Sir? Why... Huh? Dude, that's a carpet. What the fuck are you on? Okay then. You have a clean litter box. I don't know what you're doing. Okay, come on. Yeah, there you go. Oh my God. Sorry, one of my cats was being a menace to society. I have 3 of them. I guess a ghost if you count that, but that ghost is really chill. He doesn't do much. I miss him. But I do have 3 living cats. We got Bat Ears, Snoopy, and then Mama Cat. Mama Cat's around 8, 9 years old, and, well, she's 9. 9, 10, because the boys are going to be, like, 8 in June. And then we have the boys, which are Snoopy and Bat Ears. And they are 7. They'll be 8 in June. We also had a 4th cat, but he had some medical issues, and we had to make the decision with our vet to put him down. Not a very fun decision, but it was for the best long term, because... Okay, you're gonna hear the background noise. I'm sorry. Hopefully there's not a whole lot of it. Probably just my cats. But any special rules for this run? No, because I was like, okay, I'm playing Pokemon Platinum. This is a game that is... I have never fully completed this game. I've tried, I've come close, but I've never fully completed this game, because a lot of the older games I've played through, like, most of it, but I've never fully completed it. I think I've gotten to Mount Coronet in Pokemon Platinum, but I've never actually figured out how to navigate that. Uh, so for this, I'm like, no special rules other than, I guess, the name scheme. So we have Japonica, who is named after Paris japonica, which is a plant, which is the organism with the largest. I think it's not. It might not be the largest genome, but it's something along those lines. Paris japonica. If my emulator throws a hissy fit over this, so be it. All right. Yeah, it has the largest genome size, which is 100, which is about 150 million. No, not million. Sorry, billion base pairs long. That is a lot of genetic information for a lot of things, but especially a flower. No, yeah, bro does have a big genome, and we love that for him. So we got Japonica, and my emulator has decided to throw a hissy fit for the. Hopefully, it doesn't stay like this. Anytime I go over to Firefox, it doesn't mind if I go over to OBS, and it doesn't seem to mind if I go over to PNGTuber Plus, but anytime I go over to Firefox, my emulator just decides that it is going to have a hissy fit over Firefox whenever I'm live. It does not do this when I play it, because I've played this emulator before plenty of times, not live streaming, and it works fine. But for whatever reason, when I'm live, if I go to Firefox, it decides to throw a hissy fit. So we got Japonica, and then we got Salenthropus chadensis, or the last part of the scientific name. Salenthropus chadensis is one of the ancestors in human evolution. And so we got, I just call him T-Chad though, Monferno, because I usually don't really use fire starters a whole lot. And it's not because I hate fire types or anything, it's just that I don't use them a whole lot. We got Vulpes, who is the most recent team member. I have a Soothbell. We are going to evolve Vulpes eventually into an Umbreon because, in case you haven't noticed, we got Poison Ghost, Grass Poison. I almost said Grass Ghost. That's not no. And Firefighting, all of which are weak to Psychic. And even though Methane can hit for super effective damage with ghost moves, is still weak to Psychic, which so eventually going to be an Umbreon, because for whatever reason in Pokemon Platinum there is no early game Dark type, and it sucks. This is Vulpes. Specifically, this is not a species name. So we got, oh yeah, this is Pervitas, which is named after an ancestor of modern day ducks. Hence the name. It's a weird one, but it's a name. Yeah, Gen 4 doesn't have the best type variety. No, yeah, it really does not. Especially in Platinum, because for whatever reason, you can't get Stunky or Murkrow unless you trade them over from their version exclusive games. Same thing with Mismagius. What's its pre-evolution? Mischievous and Glameow. But I don't think I've ever used a Glameow ever. So we have Pervitas. Vulpes, which is named after I think it's a genus. Yeah, because Vulpes is a genus in the Canidae family. There we go. I don't know why I slapped my shoulder, but there we go. So that's the only one who's not named after like a specific species, but still in the theme of biology. Because, Eevee kind of looks a little bit like a fox, cat, dog thing. There's no real way to go with a good specific species for this. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna do the fox genus. Methane is the only one who's not named after a specific animal, because Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar are spirits and not, like, animals, which makes it so that there is no real, like, animal inspiration to draw from. Because, like, with Vetus, it's like, oh yeah, duck ancestor. Um, so T-Chad, do you study botany? It sounds like you know a lot. Currently, I'm a bio major in college. Eventually, because the plan is like get my associates in biology and then go for my bachelor's in microbiology. So I just happen to know a lot about biology because I'm going into a subsect field of biology. I have to study a lot of biology. And even then, I happen to know a lot about biology because I liked biology from like 7th grade onwards, especially genetics. But career field is, oh god, the meds have worn off, and you can tell. You can tell because my brain is not working. It's great. But in biology, even if you're going to something specialized later on, you still have to take a lot of general biology classes because you have to have a decent background knowledge of just general biology before you can learn what you're specializing in. It's a similar thing for genetics. Biochemistry, you have to have a good knowledge of chemistry because biochemistry is just the study of molecular like biological molecules, like stuff like your DNA, your proteins, your what are you? That's your tail, dude. Snoopy. Oh my god, dumbass boy, I love you. Oh my god. So, I could never be a biochem major. That's what I'm gonna say. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I don't hate chemistry, and I think biochem in and of itself is interesting. But I could not do chemistry as my job. Like, I love biology. I think it's neat. There's a lot of interesting things to it. But I would rather spend my day hunched over a microscope than do biochem. I'm going to have to eventually do it because there is a lot of chemistry in microbiology, which sounds weird because it's like, what? Aren't you just looking at microorganisms under a microscope? Which kind of. But also, there's a lot of things you can use microorganisms for. One example I like to go to really often is most synthetic insulin we have now. Yeah, synthetic insulin we produce nowadays is produced by genetically modified E. coli. And you might be hearing that going like, wait, E. coli, like the thing that makes people sick? And to which I say, technically yes, but not completely the truth, because E. coli has so many different strains, and a lot of them you can use in a lab setting completely fine. Some strains of E. coli, though, can make you really sick and are really bad. One you hear about often in regards to food poisoning is E. coli. Oh, God. H1. Oh, God. I have to make sure I'm getting the numbers right. I don't want to fuck up my E. coli strains. I know it has an H, and I know there's an O. Okay, E. coli. I feel like I should have this memorized by now. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I was going on the right direction. So one you hear about often, though, is E. coli 0157 colon H7, which is oh god, I'm gonna butcher this, Shigna toxin Escherichia coli. That's what E. coli stands for, is Escherichia coli. And Shigna toxin, there's no N in that, it's just Shiga toxin. Why am I saying Shigna? There is not an N in that. But that's a really bad toxin and can fuck up your kidneys. So usually if you hear about E. coli and they mention like, a specific strain, and they're talking about that specific strain, that's why. Because certain strains of E. coli do produce that Shiga toxin, which is very harmful and very dangerous. But for the most part, E. coli is not that dangerous. I've handled E. coli before, and my laboratory biosafety level is at maximum a biosafety level 2. Yeah, it is a biosafety level 2 because I've handled Staphylococcus aureus, but not MRSA, not the methicillin resistant stuff. The normal baseline Staphylococcus aureus, the kind that is not bad. Well, not as bad, but still can be dangerous, but not as bad. I've also handled Bacillus cereus, which is a cousin to my favorite bacteria, Bacillus anthracis. If you're wondering what my icon is, it's an auger plate of Bacillus anthracis. I love I love bacteria. They're just little guys, and God, I could talk about them forever. But yeah, a lot of microbiology though, and requires a decent amount about chemistry and biochemistry, especially when you're looking at things like bioremediation, because some bacteria can be used to clean up oil spills or degrade plastic. Or if we're talking about in a medical setting, for example, obviously you have the really bad stuff like MRSA, which is methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. It's a specific strain of antibiotic-resistant Staphylococcus, and it's really bad. It's really serious, and it's very dangerous and deadly, and it's a good prevalent example of, why you should take your antibiotics for the full course. I don't care if you say, or like, oh, I feel better, I don't need to take these anymore. Listen to me very closely. Take the fucking antibiotics, because if you don't, you're eventually going to fuck shit up for both you and potentially everyone else if you spread shit. Okay, please? Please. I would like to live in a world where, bacterial infections aren't life-threatening and can be treated. Please, don't fucking ruin it for everybody. Take your full course of antibiotics. And don't buy stuff like hand soap. That stuff is in a medical setting for specific reasons, but you don't need it in your house. Please, I beg of you. This is my PSA. Just don't be a fucking idiot. Wash your hands. Don't buy stuff that's like, oh, this has antibiotics added into it. Like things like antibiotic hand soap or I was going to say antibiotic body wash, but I think that's more of like a prescription thing. Like, antibiotic hand soap's a big thing. Please, for the love of God, if you are prescribed antibiotics, take the full course of antibiotics, okay? Even if you feel better, you need to take it, the full course of it. That way you can kill off any bacteria whom, might have a higher resistance to the antibiotic. Because if you don't take the full course of it, those bacteria are going to survive, and they are going to multiply, and you're going to end up sick again. Please, I beg of you. I beg, please. I am on my hands and knees begging you. Please, don't make my future job harder. Picked up something real quick on Twitter for you. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna look at that. So far, this stream has just been me talking about microbiology for like the past God knows how many minutes, and then maybe like a little bit of actual Pokemon gameplay. Because, oh my God, I fucking love the field of science I'm going into. Because it is just my favorite thing in the whole wide world. Oh my God, I'm trying to find it. Twitter, show me my notifications, please. Pretty please, Twitter. Show me the thing. Where is the thing? Twitter. Twitter's not showing me my notifications. Wait, what if I do for you? Okay, Twitter, please. Why is that trending in this state? Oh my God. Hold on, wait. Oh, I can just search my own name. The silly boy. Show me the latest. Trying to find it, because... Oh my God, Twitter, why? Twitter, behave, I beg you. Okay, it's not showing up, so I'm gonna give. Oh, I put it as to. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I see it. Alright. Oh my god. It's why is it Twitter? Why are you like show additional replies including those that may contain offensive content? Twitter. Oh my god, I love that. Thank you, Alpine. I love this so much. Oh my god. Oh, I love that so much. It's so silly. Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank you. That is absolutely very funny. I'm seeing why Twitter put it as the way it did. Twitter like additional replies may include offensive content. Like what? And it's just oh, it's it's mildly suggestive, Roselia. that that is that is not that bad, Twitter. Twitter, there are much worse things on your platform. Twitter, Twitter's insane. Like genuinely, Twitter's insane, and it's not even like just oh, you have people on the platform who are like, let me just share pictures of bestiality, which is a crime, and also morally wrong. Because, like, here's the thing, whatever you think and are attracted to is fine because at the end of the day, you control your actions. But the minute you start acting on some of the things you think and feel, because, you know, those type of things, then we have a problem. Because, like, here's the thing, I don't care if you think about fucking animals, but the minute you start, laying your hands on animals and fucking them, then we have a problem because that is ethically wrong. And also, animals are disease vectors for so many different things. Um, Aside from the obvious ones, like rabies, like fucking sheep can give you anthrax. Fun fact about anthrax: the reason it's called wool sorter's disease is because people who would deal with wool would sheep would have the anthrax spores in their wool, and they would shake out the wool to get rid of any dust. They would inhale like the dirt and the dust and the spores, and they would get sick with anthrax. That's why it's called wool sorter's disease, because it's related to a work-related hazard in regards to anthrax. Like, here's the thing: I don't care whatever weird thoughts or sexual things you're into, but the minute you like act on those things, if they are harmful, like here's the thing: you like feet, cool, whatever, act on that as much as you want, as long as you and the other party are consenting. But like, when we're talking like things like sexual attractions to animals, it's like, okay, buddy, you can keep your thoughts to yourself, and you can feel those thoughts, but don't fucking fuck animals. Don't have sex with kids. Don't have sex with animals. Don't have sex with corpses. Don't have sex with people who don't consent. I feel like this should be basic common sense knowledge. But there are some people on Twitter who are like, animals can consent. And then someone's like, what about children? And they're like, no, children can't consent. And they give reasons why children can't consent that you can also apply to animals. Like, oh, children can't consent because they don't understand. Like, yeah, animals also don't fucking understand. Because aside from like a language barrier thing, an animal doesn't fucking understand the concept of sex. And also, if you own an animal, you inherently have a power imbalance over it because you provide it with food, medical care, housing. It's like there's also power imbalances to, fucking animals, aside from the fact that there's like disease risk and, the fact that animals can't consent. There's the power imbalance. So even if animals could consent, fucking your pet is morally wrong because there's that power imbalance, which also makes them incapable of consenting. So even if animals could consent, there's that. Like, but animals can't consent in the first place. It's like, and the minute someone points out, hey, animals can't consent, these people are like, oh my god, you're a zoophobe. You're so gross and cringe. And you're like, no. People are saying animals can't consent because bestiality is a crime and morally wrong. And fucking an animal is morally wrong. Like, here's the thing. You can think whatever thoughts you want. Thought crime is not real. But the minute you act on your thoughts, because here's the thing, you are in complete control of your actions. Thoughts, you know, you can't really control a lot of that, especially when we're talking about things like, because here's the thing, if it's like, oh, you can control your thoughts, that inherently makes, things like OCD and people who have intrusive thoughts bad because they can, control that, which that's not how that works. We have scientific research proving that's not how that works. But here's the thing, like, whatever you think, not harmful to anyone else as long as you don't act on it, right? But your actions are your own. And if you act on your, whatever weird thoughts you may have, like, do you get it? It's like, gotta run to bed. Okay, have a good night. Yeah. Like, oh, good night. No, yeah, okay. Tangent over about, oh, hi, buddy. Hi, bud. Also, a lot of people can't read animal body language. I'm gonna die on this hill. Like, that A, you can't fuck animals. Don't fuck them. I don't care what you think inside your head, but the minute you start fucking animals, that's a problem. Like, please do not jump on that shelf. It's not a shelf, but like, A, don't fuck animals, don't fuck kids, don't fuck corpses. Common sense. If it can't consent, don't fuck it. That should be enough said. But also, people cannot read animal body language, I swear to God. Like, I have owned cats for, continuously for the past 9 years. Like, so, obviously I'm speaking from that type of, like, experience of, like, hey, I've been around cats enough to know how their body language works. But also, I like to regularly volunteer at my local animal shelter. Because A, gives back to the community, and B, good for my mental health. Gives me fulfillment in life. And let me tell you, people cannot read animal body language, and I've seen it firsthand. I have stories about this. So, one time, this was back in, I want to say, April of last year. There was this one cat who me and another volunteer had worked very hard on to, socialize, because when she came into the shelter, she came in with about 39 other cats. When she came into the shelter, she was very afraid of people and not very, like, the way I'm gonna put it is she didn't hate people, but she was very afraid of people because her and the 39 other cats had come from a bad hoarding situation. And the other 38 cats, 38, 39 cats, I can't remember if it was 40 or 39, but it was one of those two numbers. Those other cats were, pretty friendly. They might have had a little bit of behavioral issues, but they weren't, like this cat. They all got adopted. And so me and another volunteer had been working really hard to, get this cat to a place where it's like she trusts people, she's okay around people, she's not going to hiss, scratch, or bite in fear. And we had made a lot of progress, and she was, kind of starting to warm up, be a more social cat. And so one day, I'm sitting there in the not like the cat room, because the shelter I volunteer for has a kind of like room for the cats where they can, roam around, play. It's got cat trees, got litter boxes, food, water, all the things you need, and they're not in cages. They do have cages for cats, but that's only if, like, hey, we just got in these cats, we don't know if they're sick or not, we need to, take them to the vet, make sure they're not sick, that type of thing. Or, hey, these cats are sick, but that's more of a, like, separate quarantine area where, that type of thing. Like, oh, hey, we got a cat who, needs surgery for this problem, or, to get spayed and neutered. Put them in the cage, that way, they don't, while they're healing, or, before surgery, so that way, that type of thing. Anyway, so I was chilling in the cat room, and this cat was, hiding in a cat tree. And at that point, she was mostly friendly, like not very hissy or growly anymore, but kind of like, still a little bit apprehensive about people, right? So, so I'm sitting there, and a bunch of like adults come in. It's like I think 4 or 5 adults, and they're like, "Hey, we want to check out the cats." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Just so you know, this one cat is she's not unfriendly." I said it like, "Hey, she's not unfriendly, but she's not completely socialized yet. She's still got a little bit of like, fear of people. So you might not want to interact with her because she might, hiss or claw because she doesn't know you. Because, she was okay with me and shelter staff, but that's obviously because A, me, shelter staff, and, other volunteers had, worked with this cat to kind of like get her socialized. And she was, used to seeing me because I would come in at least once or twice a week and, work with the cats. So, she was used to me at that point, being around, and, she learned that I was not a threat. Come on. Oh, God, come. Oh. Oops. But she had learned that me and, some other regular people who volunteered and, the shelter staff were not a threat, but still kind of worried and just wanted to make sure that, hey, these people who, had never met this cat knew that, hey, this cat, well, friendly and friendly enough to, be around people, she might still be a little, spicy. And they're like I made sure to tell them this very clearly and up front. And also, keep in mind, this cat is hiding in a cat tree. Like, she's minding her own business, chilling. Um, and for the eventually at some point I had left the cat room because it's just like a lot of sensory input, and I was not about to deal with that. But while I was sitting there, these 4 or 5 adults like kept bothering this cat who, I had said, hey, you shouldn't be bothering this cat because even though this cat is not aggressive, this cat is still very skittish and, not completely 100% friendly. There's a chance that she might scratch or, bite out of fear. Well, she's never bitten, but like, she's never bit anybody, but like, scratch out of fear or hiss. Like, and this cat was hiding in a cat tree. I feel like if you would reasonably understand something, like, I feel like it should be really reasonable knowledge that, hey, this cat's hiding from me, and this person who, has said that they, like, has told me this information that, hey, this cat, friendly, but also, just so you know, very skittish and, fearful of people still, even though we had made a lot of progress and she wasn't actively, hissing or scratching. She would let you kind of pet her, but like apprehensively. Like, you would think that, hey, that comment from the volunteer person, plus, the cat's body language of being hidden away in a dark kind of space, would indicate, okay, maybe let's look at the other cats or play with the other cats. But no, they were just like, let's pet and kind of pester this cat a little bit. And thankfully, they didn't do anything like actively antagonistic to said cat. Like, they weren't trying to pick her up. They weren't trying to, pull on her tail. But, they were kind of surrounding this poor cat in this cat tree, petting her. And I kind of like gently kept reminding them, like, hey, maybe you should try interacting with the other cats. But no. And it's like, and that's like one example where, that stands out to me. But then there's another example. So I was also volunteering at this time. And the shelter I work for has this nice girl, like, but not. I don't want to. I'm trying to think of a way to say it politely, without being a dick, but kind of a little bit special. Oh, that feels like a thing. But so so she was working there through, I think, a local program to help disabled people find jobs. Um, she was probably like, I want to say like maybe 16, 15. So, keep in mind, old, but I don't know how exactly old she was, but so, older teenager. Um, and she, always liked to come in. She always likes to come in, make sure the cat's, kind of like talk to them, say goodnight, that type of thing, before she leaves from work to go home. Right? No problem. So, one time, there was a kitten, and this kitten was sitting on a cat tree. Because this was during kitten season. So she goes to, hug the cat. And the cat was clearly not comfortable, and she ended up getting scratched. And you could tell the cat was not comfortable as, because, she was kind of, walking towards the cat, and the cat was kind of, not upset, but, kind of, a little bit apprehensive. But then she kind of, put her arms out to kind of, go gently hug the cat, and you could tell the cat was not happy and was, not, comfortable. And, to be fair, I get that it's, in her case, it might have not been that she realized that, hey, that gesture can be interpreted as a negative thing from cats. Because, again, she wasn't, I don't want to say not normal, because that sounds so mean, but she had some type of disability, from what I understood. And the shelter people were like, hey, the people who, work actually with the animals, going out to calls, hey, there's this random stray cat dog, picking them up, or, intaking animals, getting them adopted, that type of thing. Those type of people who, were, have to have a driver's license and stuff. Because she was the only employee who, wasn't driving. She was just there to, clean out dog cages. Kind of told her, hey, you gotta be a little bit more watchful and observant of cat body language, because, not a lot of cats are going to like that type of affection. And I think she learned from that experience, because I don't think I've seen her get scratched ever since by a cat. But, it's also another example of people not knowing how to read body language. And obviously, that's, older adults, and then, older teenagers. I've also seen, slightly not middle-aged teenagers. That sounds so weird, but, teenagers who are not quite older teenagers, but not quite young teenagers. So kind of 15-ish, maybe older 14-year-olds come in and, kind of look at the cats and coo at them and interact with them. And you can tell the cats are okay with it, but you can tell they're not very observant with animal body language. And that's cats, keep in mind, because I don't really work with the dogs when I volunteer. And that's not because I don't like dogs. I think dogs are delightful. I just do not, I know from personal experience that I've not really had any experience with dogs. I've never owned a dog. The closest I've got is family members' ex would bring over their dog on the weekend. And even then, that's very limited experience with dogs, because that was a year and a half, 2 years that I knew that ex, and they had, not my ex, but family member's ex, and they had that dog. Because eventually the dog passed away via complicated circumstances I'm not going to get into on here. Personally, just for my safety, and even just for my safety. Because even though I could talk about it, I don't know. I'm not going to chance it, But, so I generally tend to not work with the dogs, because I don't have a whole lot of experience reading dog body language, or, being around dogs. So just for my own safety, because I know that while I'm very attentive of animals' body language, and very aware of how to, interact with an animal, that knowledge only really applies to cats, because that's the animal I own and I've interacted with for a better chunk of my life now. So that's why I don't work with the dogs, but keep in mind, cats have really obvious body language compared to a dog. Cat body language is not as hard to read as a dog's body language, because cats tend to be a little bit more open with their body language. And what I mean by that is it's a little bit more obvious to tell when a cat's upset, because they usually have that kind of very alert position where they're kind of arched, they pin their ears back, and it's really obvious when they pin their ears back. They kind of their pupils dilate. Their tail might stand up and they might, wag their tail, which makes it, very easy to tell, okay, yeah, this cat's upset and whatnot. With dogs, it's a little bit more subtle because, dogs, especially when it comes to dogs who, might have their ears or tails cropped. The animal shelter I volunteer for does not do that to the dogs that come in. Obviously, you never know who had a dog before they might have come in, because, like, if it's a stray dog, you don't really know that type of thing. Not thing, but, like, that type of information on intake, unless the owner tells you that specific type of information. So, and keep in mind, people really easily mistake cat body language. You can imagine it's a lot worse for dogs. And I think one of the more prevalent reasons for why this is a little bit like, not conspiracy theory territory, but more like based on human behavior territory. 'Cause when you think about people, we tend to anthropomorphize animal traits. Like, for example, a lot of people, when they see a chimp smiling, they may think, oh, when humans smile, we are happy, traditionally. So if a chimp's smiling, that means they're happy, when in reality, that's not what that means for chimpanzees and other primates. It's why some zoos do have signs explaining that, hey, this primate's body language may look like this to you, but it's not what that means to them. I've seen that at a couple zoos. Well, I've not gone to many zoos, but I've seen that at, like, Twitter, like, yeah, look at these signs at zoos of this type of thing. Not thing, but this type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Sign. So, I think a lot of it, when it comes down to animal body language, is a lot of people tend to anthropomorphize certain behaviors, or, they might know what a behavior means for one animal, but not another animal. Like, for example, someone might think, oh, this cat's wagging its tail, that means it's happy, because they might have a lot more experience with dogs, and they know, oh, when dogs wag their tails, it traditionally means this, that they're happy, they're content. Even though for a cat, that's not what that means. If a cat's wagging its tail, it's not happy. I have never seen a cat happy wag its tail. Like, because that's usually, a sign in cats that, hey, they're upset. So I think when it comes to animal body language, it's not people, being stupid, or people are just, so dumb, yada, yada, yada. No, it comes down to a fact that, hey, we tend to anthropomorphize things. It's why, you can see a face in something and go, oh, this face represents that emotion, because also pattern recognition. But also it's tend to, like, why people, might see a certain animal looking a certain way or behaving a certain way and go, oh, this animal's, sad, or this animal's happy. Like, with the example primates, like, chimpanzees smiling does not mean they're happy. It's I think, sign, if I remember correctly, it's like a sign of, kind of like unease in that animal or something along those lines. I don't remember the specific sign that it is, because I'm not really going into the specific, the specific profession of dealing with those type of animals. So for me, because I don't really plan on dealing with, large-scale animals. I think zoology as a field is interesting. I think, ecology, those type of fields are very interesting. But in terms of what I want to do, not what I want to do. I personally like microorganisms, and I think those are cool. And that's the field I'm going into, because that's the field I personally think I'll be happiest in. So, there's that. But also, like, when it comes to people, we are very pattern-oriented creatures. We are very, because, like, the thing is, people tend to anthropomorphize animals. I've mentioned this already, like, I think at least 12 different times. No, I don't want to use hyper potion. Wrong potion. There we go. Yep. And I think that, personally, as an example for me, is why a lot of people tend to, be bad at reading animal body language because they might understand, like, that this specific body language is probably a sign of, like, this. So I think when it comes down to people not being able to read animal body language, it comes down to, like, multiple things. Like, A, anthropomorphization of animals, as I already mentioned, which isn't even, like, just a furry thing specifically. Because, like, whenever you hear anthropomorphic animals, you probably think furry. But no, what I'm talking about is, like, treating animals like they have the emotions and, thoughts kind of people. Like, oh yeah, we do this thing when we're upset. Or, what's another good example I can think of? Oh wait, no, what's the second thing I was gonna say? In the case of, like, cats and dogs, seeing one behavior in one species and interpreting that for another species. Like, for example, if dogs wag their tails, the cats must wag their tails too. For this reason. Even though that's not the case. And then there's also things like, panting, because a lot of people will associate panting with, heat and, trying to stay cool, which that is a reason an animal might pant. But also in dogs, panting can be a sign of distress or anxiety or discomfort, alongside other similar, signs. And it's easy to kind of, like, interpret or miss those signs, especially when it's more subtle things. Like, in the examples I gave when I was talking about, people can't read animal body language really well, I specifically mentioned cat body language. And my examples I've seen with people, where, it's very obvious, kind of clear body language that people are misinterpreting. And that does happen. But that's where I was looking for. And that does happen. But also, a lot of other times you might see an example might be, a dog kind of, slowly getting agitated, and eventually their bite. And the people are like, oh, I didn't see this coming. I didn't think this dog would bite. And usually it's not the dog gets aggressive all at once and then bites. It's more of the dog, slowly is displaying these signs of, discomfort and or aggression that may be more subtle. And eventually, by the point that it reaches the, very obvious, hey, this dog is upset and uncomfortable, it is too late for the person to have, realized those small signs kind of building up on top of each other. So at the end of the day, though, the fact that a lot of people can't read animal body language properly isn't a thing of, like, oh, people are stupid. It's more of a thing of complex and nuance, but it's a common thing. It's something you really notice the minute you start to kind of, like, work with animals, or, like, even if you don't work with animals as, like, a job, if you volunteer with animals, it's something you also notice. Or, if you just happen to be around animals a lot, and then you see how other people interact with animals, you notice it. Like, and to be fair, the field of animal behavioralist is a job. It is a thing people do, like, professionally. Like, people research animal behaviors. People, like, go, hey, this is a behavior animals exhibit. Let's look at why. Do they do it for courtship? Do they do it, for this specific reason, to display this specific emotion? Like, so at the end of the day, there's there's a fucking field dedicated to just, figuring out what certain behaviors mean in animals. Like, how do animals display certain behaviors? Why do animals do some things that they do? Like, and so it's also nuanced in that type of way, of that there's stuff we're still learning about animal behavior, and there's a lot of stuff that, we don't know about animal behavior. And also, then that ties into scientific research and how, about things, about topics in general, and how that's not very accessible to people. And this is the hill I will also die on readily, and I will also scream it out at the rooftops. So if you want to prevent scientific misinformation, people have to have access to that scientific literature. Doesn't have to be, like, it also has to be accessible. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, A, you can't keep that scientific literature behind like a paywall. So, a lot of scientific. Oh, we got Roost. We don't have any bird Pokemon, but we got Roost. What was I saying? Scientific literature. Like, but for a lot of people, there's two things that make scientific literature inaccessible. Aside from there's pricing, which is economic inaccessibility, where a lot of scientific journals to access papers are like, you must pay an exorbitant amount of money to access this paper, which limits the amount of people who can access scientific papers to people who are either in college or work for an institution that would be able to provide access to those papers, which means a lot of people in the general public won't see those papers or ever read those papers. They just have to go on what the news says about those papers, or what's the title of the paper. Which is earner today's. And then I think the second biggest form of inaccessibility is generally scientific language. And scientific language exists for specific purposes. It exists so that scientists can communicate to other scientists their specific, findings in a way that the other scientist is going to easily, very clearly understand. Like, for example, if I say the word, if I say a sentence like, this bacteria is gram-negative and non-hemolytic, a lot of you probably aren't going to know what that means, unless, one or two of you in the chat are a microbiologist. But another microbiologist is going to hear those words and go, oh, okay, these are certain features of the bacteria. Like, for example, and they know what those mean. For example, gram staining. I mentioned that specifically. When gram staining determines basically in the simplest form, it determines the thickness and composition of a cell wall in bacteria. If we want to get more specific, it determines peptidoglycan levels in a cell wall and how thick that layer of peptidoglycan is. Because peptidoglycan binds to certain pigments. Well, not pigments, but certain dyes. And that information is very useful. For example, we know... Oh, God. I can never keep... every time I am trying to remember it on the spot, I can't fucking remember. Oh, my God. I can't remember it on the spot. No. Gram stain. Gram positive. Okay. I can't remember which color goes with which. I know what they mean, though. I know the colors and I know what they mean. I just never can remember what the fuck. Which color goes with which. Okay, here I go. Okay, figured it out. There we go. So gram-positive bacteria are bacteria with a lot of peptidoglycan in their cell wall. And that peptidoglycan likes to bind to a purple dye that we use in gram staining. And it'll stick to that purple dye will stick to that peptidoglycan, and the bacteria will be purple under a microscope. My cat's being really loud. Oh my God. Silly boy, what you doing? What you doing, boy? I think you buried it. I think you're good. Good boy. Oh my God, the game stopped. Whereas gram-negative bacteria, that purple dye, they don't have enough peptidoglycan for that purple dye to, kind of stick as well. And so in the staining process, they end up having being dyed pink instead. And the process of gram staining in and of itself is very simple. You use a purple dye, let it sit there. Eventually you rinse it off with iodine, let the iodine sit there. Kind of make sure that purple dye is fixed in the bacteria's cell wall. And then... Oh, methane! Wake the fuck up, bitch! My goddamn fucking Pokemon's asleep. Why? Bitch, what the fuck? Ugh. Right, cell wall. Iodine. And then after you let that iodine sit, you wash it off real quick with usually ethanol, and you wash that ethanol off real quick with water, and then you put on the pink dye, let it sit for like a minute, and then you wash off that pink dye. Well, it's not pink, it's red, but it just shows up as pink. Close enough. I know what I mean. I hope it conveys close enough to you too. And then you can look at it under a microscope and see what color it is. Although sometimes you can see the color of the of the bacteria very clearly. Okay, that's weird. Sorry, I was checking, not Twitter. What's it called? Twitch real quick. Wait, what was I saying? What was I saying? I forgot. Oopsie daisy. Okay. And so, if it has a lot of peptidoglycan, that purple binds, and under a microscope is purple. If it has very little peptidoglycan, the purple dye doesn't stick, but the red dye does, and it looks pink under a microscope. And that information tells us about the cell wall, and how thick is it? What is it is this specific component very abundant in the cell wall, or is it not as thick in the cell wall? And that information is very useful for treating it, because certain antibiotics may work really well on bacteria that have, a less peptidoglycan in their cell wall, because they have a thinner cell wall usually. Whereas some antibiotics might work really well on bacteria that have like that thicker peptidoglycan cell wall composition. And so it tells us a bit about that and how to treat the bacteria. So a lot of scientific language, though, if you really want, the public to be aware of your findings, can really alienate the public, because a lot of people aren't gonna know what the fuck gram staining is. They aren't gonna know what the fuck non-hemolytic means. They aren't gonna know what the fuck McConkey's auger is, which is auger that is kind of used to indicate it's specific fermentation, I think. I haven't really talked about it much yet at my point in education. Not talked about it, but we haven't really talked about it a lot at this point in my education, but I know a little bit about it from my education. So there's like things like that. And it serves its purpose, Having clear scientific language makes it a lot easier to communicate with scientists. It's also why animals, have scientific names, because it's a lot easier to say, oh, we're talking about this species of animal, rather than trying to say a, common name that can vary from region to region. A great example of why we have scientific names is the puma concolor. That's the species name, because in some regions it's called a puma, in other regions it's called a mountain lion, in some regions it's called a cougar. It has a ton of different common names that depend on region. And if we were just using common names, that'd make it really hard to communicate with other scientists. Hey, this is the animal I'm talking about in my research. So things like that are very useful. But if you want people to, be able to read your findings, that, those people aren't in the scientific community, because, those findings may be able to provide a lot of information to people about, hey, this thing that we thought is dangerous isn't as dangerous as we thought it was. Or, hey, this thing that we thought is really safe is actually really dangerous. Hey, this thing can do this to the human body. Or this thing can do that to the human body. If you want to get that information to the public, and you're using a lot of very technical scientific language, a lot of people aren't going to know what it means. Because, here's the thing. It's like, oh, why can't they just Google it? Like, the thing is, yeah, they can Google it. But let's be realistic here. How many people do you know that are going to, including yourself, how many people do you know that realistically are going to read a scientific paper, something that is not very accessible in the first place, and the minute they see a bunch of words that they don't know, keep reading? Let's be realistic here about this. Are you going to keep reading if you don't understand half of the shit the paper is telling you? Or if you can't really read any of the data being presented to you? A scientist is going to be like, well, yes, of course, I'm going to ask for clarification or look up something I may not know, or, refer to my own notes about something that confuses me a little bit. But I don't want to say civilian because it's not a military thing. A non-scientist is going to go, no, because I don't understand it, and why should I spend my time trying to, read this thing I don't understand? And, waste a bunch of time while reading, Googling things, or, looking up what this means. And, have to spend, 5 hours on this one paper that, a scientist can probably read in an hour and a half. Oh, wait, ghost type moves can hit Machop? What? Okay, but what? Wait, time out. It just used did it just use a fighting? No, Revenge is not. No, wait, no, yeah, Revenge is fighting. The fuck am I on? The fuck am I on, dude? So yeah. This stream was brought to you by the autism. This stream was brought to you by the autism. Teaching you way too much information about science and giving you way too much hot takes about why I think scientific literature should be more freely accessible, and also why, if you want people to understand and read your findings, you should also probably, have a readily available version that, uses a little bit more plain common language. It should be fair, that is a lot of work. And getting your shit published is expensive as fuck. I've never had anything published in a scientific journal. But my professors work in the field, and I've heard from my biology professors, like, oh my god, publishing shit in a journal is fucking expensive. Especially if you want to get into a well-known journal like Nature. Nature is one of the really big, widely reputable journals. And if you get into that, you've made it. Kind of, in the scientific community. Man, I love science. Oh, hey, a fist plate. 2 beings of time and space set free from the original one. Alright, I forgot Arceus is like Pokemon God. Never remind me Arceus is Pokemon God. Yeah, bro. Check out the first sharpness of my fang moves. What the fuck type is Krogunk? No, yeah, it's poison fighting. I'm a fucking idiot. Oopsies. Well, the cat moved. The cat moved. The cat moved, man. Man. I dropped off in viewership. Hello to the singular person watching me. I hope you're enjoying the scientific rambles. To be fair, you probably have this in the background. I don't mind chat being quiet, because it gives me an excuse to just talk about science stuff and have you all held captive as, a little subject. not subject in like a royal sense, but like as a little test subject. Like, you guys are just my little bacteria colony plates, and I'm talking to you guys while I do my lab work. You know, not that I've ever, just casually spoken to like laboratory living organisms. No, yeah, I okay, so in high school, I went to a special high school. Oh god, this sounds so bad, but like when I say special, I mean like uh kind of like think of a community college but make it for high school students and make it so that it's a high school community. Basically that's what I did. Um Basically that's what I did. And I did biology specifically. I went there and I was a biology person. TM. So uh, and we had fish because fish are a really common thing, not thing, but like common animal to use in research because there's a little bit less regulation when it comes to animal testing with fish, which is sad, but it's true. It's sad, but it's true. It's just a lot easier to test on fish or test with fish. Although to be fair, we weren't performing anything that's like unethical. We were A lot of the things we were doing with the fish are aquaponics or hydroponics related type things. Well, no, hydroponics is just water. Aquaponics is water and fish. Well, fish and plant. Whereas hydroponic is water plant. Yeah, that checks out. I said what I said. I said what I said, and I think you understand it. I just realized I forgot to turn on trade evolutions by level up because I didn't. I'm gonna have to put this through the fucking randomizer and hope it doesn't corrupt my shit. Although to be fair, the only thing I'd be turning on in that randomizer is just let me evolve my little haunter guy into a Gengar, please. I beg of you. I beg of you, Universal Pokemon Randomizer. Let my creature. My creature. Do you have a creature chat? How do you feel about your creatures? Are they creaturey enough for you? Are they creaturey enough for you? Oh my god! Here's the thing! Pet. Oh my god, here's the little guy. He's a little fella. I like my little fella. Look at him. He's so little. He's a little guy. He's a little fella. Little creature. Alright. Okay. After we defeat this Meryl, I'm going to go take a break. Get up, get some stretches. How much water do I have? I'm actually okay-ish on water. Maybe, get a snack, that type of thing. Because I am hungry. Because I had a early dinner. I had dinner at like 5. Look at it. So silly. I'm just a bazilly guy. And I also probably just bump my stream in the Twitter algorithm. Alright, I shall be back. Alright, I got fruit. 10 out of 10 would recommend you guys get fruit. Unironically, yeah, unironically, fruit's really good. Like apples, tasty. Bananas, mwah, exquisite. Strawberries, I wish they weren't so fucking expensive. Please, please, I want the fruit. Give me the fruit, please. Man, why does Meryl look so dead inside? Like, is it just me? Is it just me? Or does in these games. Wait, does in these games. That ain't words. That's an attempt at words, but that ain't words. Is it just me, or does in this game. Meryl just looks so dead inside? Oh, come on, Melody. Yes, you know me. Please. Like, that is the face of a little guy who's seen some shit. Like, that is a creature who has been traumatized in the bowels of the trenches. That is a creature who has seen war crimes and maybe has committed some. That is not a mentally stable mouse. Man, Gen 4 Meryl just has seen some shit. Does it get better in the later gens? And I need to know. Not right now, but like I need to know. And HP up. HP. How do you say HP, chat? HP or HP? I need to know how much to hudge you. Wait, no. Judge you for saying H. HD? HD? How the fuck do you guys say HD? Like, not HD, ADHD. Do you say ADHD? Like, how? I'm sorry, chat. I don't get it. Wow, it's a bird. We can take it as a hostage. Chat, we're getting a bird. We're getting a bird hostage. We're like almost halfway through the game now. I think about it. Like, not the full game, but like the gym leaders. We're obviously gonna finish the game, but like, that's a crazy amount of time. Wait, how many streams? The fuck was that? Oh. Sorry, chat. I gotta be quiet for like a little bit. Sorry, chat. I'm not dead. Just gotta be a little quiet for a little bit. So if you hear me and go, wow, that's kind of quiet there, Basilia, are you good? No, yeah, I'm good. Everything's fine, just stuff's happening, so I gotta be a little quiet. Which means you get ASMR Basilia. Ain't that fun? Don't you enjoy ASMR Basilia? Trying to figure out starling names. What starlings live in Japan? Okay. E-bird. Now there, buddy. What's your scientific name? I need it. For Pokemon, of course. Okay, I can fit it. Assuming I didn't leave out a letter. Yeah, no, scenarios. So this is the species name of the white-cheeked starling, which is native in most of Japan, and I think has native breeding range in Hokkaido. Hokkaido. And I think Hokkaido is what, if I remember right, is what Sinnoh Inspiration. Yep, that's how you spell. Oh yeah, no, it is based on Hokkaido. Which is the white-cheeked starling has a native breeding range in Hokkaido. So yeah, we're going with the native bird name for our starling. Okay, hello, Snaris. All right, he is going in the box because we're gonna have to grind him before Maylene, of course. But like, shh, we can worry about that at like a different time, right? You know, it's not a me problem right now. It's an eventual Bacilli problem. Let's think about it like that, okay, chat? Okay, let's think about like an eventual Bacilli problem and not a current Bacilli problem. You know, let's think about it like that. Okay, okay. You understand me, don't you, chat? Thank you. You guys are so nice. Can't escape, great. It doesn't matter anyway. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, Shockwave, yippee, creature mode, yippee, Pikmin, Pikmin, Pikmin. Hey! Wow, it's the soulless Mariel. Oh my god, that's such a stupid way to pronounce it. Sorry, chat. I got distracted. I'm. Hmm. Sorry, I'm sorry, chat. I'm distracted because I gotta. I want to know. Hmm. Um. Hmm. Oh, Mon's live. Okay. It's cool seeing other what's the word I'm looking for? Um, people who want to do VTubing be live, like, cause I'm like, I do this like more so for fun than I do it for like money. Be cool to make money off this, like, cause then I can say, oh yeah, my job is streaming. Oh wait, no, I didn't want to run away from you. No. The sound of an upset bacilli. The bacilli cry, if you will. Oh, it's these fuckers. It's these fuckers. Wow. Another soulless Meryl. Do you think Meryl has a soul, chat? Well, I have to go. I'm hearing something real quick. I'll be back, but gotta go see what. Sorry, I hope you guys don't pick up, hear the background noise of my sibling talking. Because she's on a phone call with her friends. How fun. I don't hate my siblings. Don't get me wrong. I know it kind of seems a little bit at times like, oh, I hate them. They're annoying. And to be fair, they are a little annoying. Don't tell them I said that. But it's just the truth. It's like if you have siblings, you know that they got this like weird thing, but they're just annoying. Quit being fucking blue. Sorry, I don't know what came over me there. I'm just anytime this motherfucker comes on my screen, I get viscerally upset. Why? Why is it blue? Why is it blue? Why does it have to be blue? It should not be fucking blue. It's purple. It's purple in every goddamn mainline game, except for Generations 3 and then Sinnoh Gen 4. And even then, it's not consistent because Sinnoh, the Gen 4 anime, you know, the anime that takes place in, Sinnoh, that was aired during, well, not maybe during, maybe a little bit after this, but kind of during this game's existence, has a Gligar that is the regular standard color. But no, let's just make it fucking blue in the games for some reason. Let's just make it blue. It doesn't matter if it's purple in every other piece of media we put out. It doesn't matter if it's going to be purple later on for the rest of the games and all time. No, we're going to make it blue. We're going to make it blue. Not even its shiny form. Which shiny form has always been blue. No, we're going to make its base form blue. Why? Who decided at Game Freak? Yep, we're just going to do this for a generation and a half, and then the second half of this generation, we're not going to do it. Why? Why? I need to speak politely with whoever decided that was a thing. Why? Game Freak, why? Why? I mean, why? What's the reason? Don't you fucking die on me. Can you shadow punch? Good boy. Look, good girl. Good thing. No! I forgot it has fucking aftermath! Ah! This is frustration bacilli. Okay, it's a Blazel. It's a Beezle. The Beezle McKeezle. We quick. Hey, wait a minute. Dude, you're good. It's enough slices. Dude. I swear to God, my cat is driving me insane. I love him. Don't get me wrong. He's my little precious Snoopy Goopy Poopskin. Or something like that. Like, come on, dude. While I'm streaming? No, you gotta be loud and obnoxious while I'm streaming. Come on, buddy. You're better than this. You're better than this. Buddy, bestie, boy. Wait, okay, do I have rigging? Okay, good. We're cool. We're cool. As long as I have rigging, I don't give a shit. If I have rigging, we're good. And that's all that matters. Because you know how long I spent on this fucking model? Way too long, I'll tell you that much. Way too long. Way too long on this fucking model. Like, to be fair, I did want it to look nice. But still, so long on a model. Okay. Things I've dissected for my biology class in the past 2 weeks. Clam. Oyster. Nope, clam. Yeah, clam. Interesting, but also pain in the ass to open. Okay, enough out of 10. This is gonna be me wasting my goddamn hyper potions. Because I don't have anything else to heal my team with. Uh, you see, the good part, another pro of, well, I didn't want to check the tags. I just wanted, give me my B button, damn it. Didn't want to check tags. I wanted to just give T-Chad some fruit. I swear eventually if we're gonna have to make Poffins just to level up Volps, I will cry. Not Volps, Evolve Volps, not level up. Those are two separate features. And I totally know that. Yep, I totally know that. Oh, right, no, yesterday. So yesterday, I had to go make up an exam, right? So, I forgot to email my teacher the day prior to, like, let him know stuff. So I make sure to email him at, like, 11 a.m. Like, hey, I can take the test at 2. And I thought he received it, because, why wouldn't I? He was like, he's a teacher. Obviously, he's gonna, check his email at least once or twice a day. Like, it makes sense. It makes sense, I tell you. And so, I send him an email. I'm like, okay, my test should be in the testing center. I didn't receive a reply back to him. Back to him? No, I meant from him. The day of the email. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I will receive my. I'll just go to the testing center at my college. It'll be fine, and I can make up my exam. Right? Wrong. Because apparently, the testing center didn't have my exam, and I'm like, what? And I didn't bring my laptop with me because I thought I don't need my laptop to take the exam. It's on paper. I don't need to bring my laptop. And it's like, also, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to stream later. I was gonna, like, I might stream later tonight. Why bring my laptop? And I have to just, put it back where it belongs. And here's the pro lesson, chat. Always have your email password memorized. Just genuinely. Because the thing is, my college email password is not saved in my phone. Don't you touch my water! Son, I love you, but you have a habit, a really bad one, of spilling water by my electronics on accident. So to avoid you doing it on accident, I'm going to just not let you do it. We are winning, chat. What are you doing? Sir! The fuck are you doing back there? I like how half the stream is just me yelling at my cat with zero context. Like, not mean yelling. Like, obviously not mean yelling, of course. I would never mean yell at my baby boy. He has done not a single thing wrong in this tiny cat life. This man can do no evil. He can do no wrong. He is just a little guy. Yes, I'm aware. What?
Are you not streaming?
No.
Because,
Alright, chat, I wanted the stream to go to like 2.5 hours, but unfortunately, siblings exist, and it's spring break, so, I cannot have a goddamn piece of peace in this house to stream. Great, I love this. This is fine. I'm not bitter at all. Oh, hey, it's a wiki berry. Wiki. So, we're going to find the. Okay, thank you. The nearest Pokemon Center, and I'm gonna end stream, which should be the nearest Pokemon Center should be here. That's the hey, you like to bring house. Okay, goodbye. Then, why is it that whenever I want to stream, why? Like, at some point in the middle of the stream, shit just gotta happen. I don't like this. Just let me. Why? Why? Also, whoever the fuck made new headphones without a headphone jack, prison, jail time. I will be killing you tonight at 9:26:10 p.m. Okay? Okay, person who removed the fucking headphone jack from phones. I will be killing you. Because you've made my life infinitely more difficult. Not because my phone doesn't have a headphone jack. No, I'm fine. I use wireless earbuds anyway. But because it makes my life more inconvenient. Because everyone has, either has Bluetooth headphones or, is a dick. And won't use headphones. Because no, wireless headphones don't work with my phone. Okay. Oh, fuck, I didn't stream Mahjong this week. Aww. Mahjong. Mahjong. I didn't do my Mahjong. Womp womp. Well, you know what time it is. Time to end stream. So, obligatory regular spiel. Have a good night. I will be live next tomorrow with a double stream. Ooh, how fun. So I'll be live tomorrow at 2 different times. What times, you may be asking? Great question. I will be live at 10:30 a.m. playing Ace Attorney. Because it has been a while. And I've been meaning to do that every single week, but I have not done it. Oopsies. And then at 10 p.m., I will be live playing Stardew Valley. And then Saturday and Sunday, I don't have streams. Sunday, happy Easter to those who celebrate. Hope you guys have wonderful Easter. And anyway, until tomorrow at 10 a.m., take care. Have a good day. Hug your pet and or mother. And remember to stay hydrated. I love you. Bye.